Hey, listeners, remember that article you sent my way about Nvidia stock, the one where it absolutely tanked?
How wild, right?
Turns out there's this Chinese AI company, DeepSeek, that's making some serious waves.
For sure.
And it's got investors everywhere kind of rethinking the whole future of AI spending. Big time.
Yeah. It's it's really remarkable how fast things changed. In just one day, Nvidia's stock dropped like almost 17%.
Wow.
Lost a massive $589 billion from its market cap.
$589 billion.
It's actually the biggest single day loss in stock market history.
Wow. To put that into perspective, market cap basically means the total value of all the company's shares. So losing that much, I mean, in a single day is like, well, it's a huge deal.
Right.
And it all boils down to this new AI model, R1, from DeepSeek. It seems to be kind of shaking things up in the AI world.
That's exactly right. Nvidia, as you probably know, they make those super powerful GPUs, the specialized processors that do all the heavy lifting for AI. They've been, a major player in this whole AI boom. But then DeepSeek steps onto the scene and claims their R1 model can pull off similar results, but get this, using fewer, less powerful chips.
Really?
Yeah.
So instead of needing a whole room packed with supercomputers, you might get the same AI performance from something way smaller.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to have some folks in Silicon Valley pretty nervous, right?
Absolutely. Wall Street definitely perked up their ears. Analyst reactions have been all over the map, really. Some, like the analysts over at Citi, they're skeptical. They think DeepSeek might be, stretching the truth a little.
Embellishing.
Yeah. They're saying it's pretty unlikely DeepSeek got these results without using some top-tier chips.
Right.
They're betting that companies won't be jumping ship from NVIDIA's advanced GPUs anytime soon.
So basically they're like, don't count Nvidia out just yet.
What about the other analysts, though? Did any of them buy into DeepSeek's claims? Well, the analysts at Jefferies, they see it differently. Even if, DeepSeek's claims are a little exaggerated, they think it could still be a real game changer. They suggest this might actually push Silicon Valley toward a new focus: efficiency and return on investment.
Okay, so less throwing a ton of computing power at every problem and more focus on actually making AI, well, smarter, more efficient.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can see how that would ruffle some feathers,
Yeah,
especially for companies that have been banking on the idea that bigger is always better.
for sure. And that brings us to a really important question for the future of AI. Will these advancements in AI efficiency, will they lead to a decrease in the demand for raw computing power?
Now, that's a big question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if AI starts needing less power, it's not just about the companies making the chips.
Right.
It's about the data centers,
Yeah.
housing all those systems, the energy companies powering those data centers.
The whole
The whole ecosystem, really, could be affected.
You're spot on. And it's not even just the hardware. This raises all sorts of questions about the software, too. The algorithms that are driving all of this. Imagine a world where those complex AI models could run, on your smartphone. Personalized AI assistants, real-time data analysis, all happening in your pocket.
Wow.
This could be the beginning of something truly revolutionary.
So we've got this potential shift happening right in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
On one hand, maybe DeepSeek is just hyping things up, and maybe eventually everything goes back to how it was. But then, what if they've actually figured out how to get more done with less?
Right.
That could completely change everything about AI.
What's so interesting here is the uncertainty,
Yeah.
This whole event has really kind of thrown a wrench into how we thought AI development worked. That assumption that you need more and more computing power, it might be completely backward.
It's almost like everyone's been building these massive ships, and DeepSeek shows up with a speedboat that's just as effective.
That's a great analogy. It really highlights how this whole situation could be a huge disruption, like a catalyst for a whole wave of new innovation.
Okay, so if we kind of zoom out a bit and look at the big picture, what could this all mean?
Well, for one thing, it challenges what everyone assumes. It forces us to ask, what if being smart and efficient is more important than just brute force when it comes to AI?
And that leads to some pretty interesting questions, like if the demand for all this raw computing power actually goes down, who wins?
Exactly. Is it the companies that are building these more efficient algorithms? Or maybe it's the people actually using AI who can now get the benefits without needing to buy all the fancy hardware. Think about all the smaller businesses, researchers, just everyday people. AI tools could be available to everyone.
The democratization of AI, that's a really powerful idea. But what about the companies like Nvidia, the ones built around providing this high-powered hardware? Are they just out of luck?
Not necessarily. They're in a good spot to adapt. They have a ton of knowledge about designing and making chips. Maybe they change direction and start focusing on making specialized chips that work perfectly with these newer, more efficient AI models.
So instead of just making things more and more powerful, they'd have to start getting smarter about how they're using that power.
Exactly. It could actually push Nvidia towards a different type of innovation. It's a perfect example of how disruption can actually lead to even more progress.
Okay, so potentially there's some good news for Nvidia down the line,
Yeah.
even if things are a little shaky right now. But for our listeners out there, why should they care about what's happening with Nvidia and DeepSeek? What's the big deal?
Well, this is more than just about stock prices and company names. We're actually looking at the future of one of the most important technologies we have today: artificial intelligence. The direction AI goes affects everyone, from the way we work to the way we live our
It's
lives.
easy to get lost in all the technical stuff, but ultimately this is about the future we're building.
You got it. This situation with DeepSeek has brought up a lot of really important questions.
Like whether these improvements in AI efficiency are going to lead to less demand for raw computing power.
Right. And if it does happen, who are going to be the winners and losers? Will we see a whole shift in who has power in the tech industry?
It feels like we're at this real turning point, doesn't it? It's not just about, one company's stock crashing. This is about a potential, fundamental shift in how we think about AI.
Oh, absolutely. It really does. This whole event just highlights how dynamic technological advancements can be. What we think is, oh, a sure thing today could be totally disrupted tomorrow.
It's a good reminder that innovation can come from anywhere. I mean, who would thought this Chinese startup could shake things up in Silicon Valley like this?
Yeah, it really drives home the point that the tech world is constantly changing. And for people who are paying attention, these kinds of shifts, well, they can be huge opportunities.
It's exciting
Eh.
and a little bit, I don't know, unnerving at the same time, right? Like we're standing at the edge of something really big, but we have no idea what it's going to look like.
That's a great way to put it. It's like trying to see through a fog. We can kind of make out shapes and outlines, but all the details are still blurry.
So going back to those big questions we were talking about, if AI starts needing less power, who benefits the most? And what happens to companies like Nvidia that are, currently built around providing that high-powered hardware?
Those are the million-dollar questions for sure. The answers will probably become clearer over the next few years as we see how this whole new wave of AI efficiency plays out.
What do you think, based on everything we've talked about? Do you think this is a good thing overall?
I think it could be incredibly positive, actually. Imagine a world where AI is easier to get, more affordable, and doesn't need as much energy. It could open up so many possibilities we probably haven't even thought of yet.
It's like leveling the playing field. So now anyone can use AI to create new things.
Mm-hmm.
That could lead to some pretty amazing breakthroughs.
Exactly. It could empower smaller companies, researchers, even just regular people to do things that only big corporations could do before because they had all the money and resources. It could truly make AI technology accessible to everyone.
So for everyone listening, this isn't just about some tech news happening far away. This is about a future where AI could become a much bigger part of your life than you might even realize.
Think about it. More personalized healthcare, smarter transportation, even things like education that's tailored to how you learn best. The possibilities are really mind-blowing.
And it all started with this Chinese company figuring out how to make AI more efficient. Who knows what other amazing things are just around the corner?
That's what's so exciting about all this. It's a reminder that we're living through a period of unbelievable technological change. And the only thing that stays the same is that things are always changing.
So what do you all think? Is the future of AI about raw power? Or is it about clever efficiency? Let us know what you think. And until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep.